welcome back.
Nancy JoJo Q.
It's Dolly Pompito. We're back with another episode. You already know the title. Are we adulting yet?
Today our episode is called A Letter to Our Exes.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty interesting. We got pretty good feedback, I feel like, from our toxic relationships episode. So I feel like this was a good...
Relationship episodes are always really good.
They are always good. We can always relate to them. And we're always growing with them, no matter what. So we figured, all right, the toxic relationships, you got that point of view now.
Get our point of view.
Our point of view with our exes. Because we got some stories. Let me tell you.
We do. Some juicy stories.
We really do. Before we hit that, we want to recap a little bit. This past week, we did run into some issues. some
money issues.
Money issues. Definitely money issues. We pretty much, when you run a podcast, you have to upload it onto a host, right? That's what it's called, a host thing. And
your platform.
Your platform. So we use Buzzsprout, and Buzzsprout will allow you 90 days for free to upload everything for free. But the catch is you can only upload 2 hours per month. So we have to make sure, if we want to release 4 episodes a month, we have to make sure they hit exactly 30 minutes each.
So we thought we were doing that, and complete fail.
So I know, that's why if you feel like we're not saying enough, we're kind of rushing things. It's because we have to hit 30 minutes. Every episode needs to be 30 minutes.
And if you're listening to this and did not notice, we didn't post a episode this last Thursday. Mm-hmm. And that is the reason why.
Yeah.
You're fucking with two broke bitches. That's what happened.
I bet we're trying to get our full 90-day experience of not having to pay. We're going to have to pay eventually, but if it doesn't need to be now, we're not going to do it.
Right.
We got other shit to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So we had to postpone the release date from Thursday to Sunday. Not a big deal. It's a minor setback.
But now at this point, while you're listening to this will have been out, and our other episode should be out already as well.
Yes.
So we just want to explain to you why we didn't release the episode. We want to keep it real with you. We don't want to keep you guys out waiting, just, out here going crazy. But
where the fuck they at?
But last week on the 11th, I believe it was Veterans Day. So shout out to all our veterans, young and old.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate you. You're doing something I wouldn't do.
For real.
You are brave.
For real. Never.
Give you a high five for that.
Seriously.
And the 15th was my girl's birthday.
Another year older. Girl.
She's old.
I am old. Stop. I'm really seeing 30.
Look, and I'm really talking shit because I'm 6 months behind her. So 6 months from now, I'm going to be
so
the
we'll
same.
have this whole conversation in about 6 months. And it's just going to be reversed. I'm going to just be telling her she's old as fuck.
Because you are getting there.
I am getting old. And then this birthday, legit just proved it because I got sick. If you don't hear it in my voice, I am a little sick.
We can't party as hard as we used to, man. It's just not.
No, literally, my nose is all stuffed up. Right now when I'm talking, it sounds like it just sounds like I sound weird.
You just sound yourself.
Okay, good. Because I do not sound like that I sound super stuffed up. I've been in bed all day.
Yeah, you do. I can tell you are a little stuffed up.
Yeah, dude. I've been in bed all day. My boyfriend took me out and surprised me with a burlesque show last night, which was super fucking cool. Super cool. I've been wanting to do that forever. But I was trying to push my body. Yeah, bitch, it's your birthday. Keep going.
Do it.
Keep going.
Can do it.
Order a vodka soda. Do it. And then this morning I was paying for it all day. But it's fine.
Womp womp.
But yeah, so now that we're all caught up, we're going to go right into what we're talking about today because it's juicy, so we don't want to waste too much time.
No, not at all.
We already said we only have 30 minutes, so.
Right, so the time is ticking. The task of the week is to look at your past relationships and not be negative. Not to be negative, Everything's a learning experience. But consider what it's taught you and how you've gained wisdom from that and what you do different,
Right.
How you move different.
Right. It's very important to see, the things that happened to me have molded me into the person that I am. And, I love the person that I am.
Yes. And even though, relationships aren't the number one thing that teaches you everything in life. It's just, it's a big staple sometimes, you know? It teaches you to love yourself. It teaches you your worth. So,
And that has to do with every relationship, I feel like, too. But when you think about intimate relationships that you have with people, you are being, you know, you're giving yourself 100% to these people.
yes.
So it's important to talk about relationships and everything. You need to remember, like, it happened when it comes to like past things. It happened. It made me who I am. It molded me. But especially intimate relationships you had in the past.
Yeah. Especially the ones where you're like, I'm going to give 100%.
Especially the ones where you come out and you're like, fuck you. I hate you forever. And that's like, I've come out of every relationship thinking that. Like, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. I don't ever want to talk to you again. And I'm friends, probably not with my recent ex, but I'm cool with like every single one of my exes.
Yeah.
My recent ex, we'll get into that. But with all my other exes, I'm like, it's in the past. It happened.
I don't really talk to any of my exes.
No. I talk to
It's just done.
except for like, we'll get into him, but.
Well, you know, I just don't, I have so little time. I don't even know how to explain it. My mind is so elsewhere. I'm not even thinking about communicating with them. That's not like, and not saying that's a priority for you because that might just happen, you know, for you. But like for me, it's just not, no. Everyone knows, you know, I'm in a relationship. I have a kid. That's my priority.
Just leave it at that, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just, you know.
Yeah, I've been very surprised that like, even one of my exes, two of my exes have hit me up and like congratulated me on the podcast, and you know, like it's just like this mutual respect, like it happened, it's over, but you're cool. Yeah, we're cool. We're cool.
I see you.
Right. I'm
like,
happy for you.
And that feels good though, because you're like, yeah, see me.
Yeah.
Watch me glow up, you know?
Right. And the same, like vice versa. I see a lot of my exes and I'm like, damn, I'm really happy for them. I mean, maybe I had something to do with all your progress in life.
Yeah. Because that's a very mature way to go about things, though. You know, like, I'm glad you're doing very well. Things didn't work out between us. We had what we had, whatever. I just, you know, I'm glad you're happy. Good for you. You know, I don't wish any bad upon you.
Right.
So.
I don't need to know everything that's going on in your life. Like, we don't need to be best friends, but.
It's good to know you're doing good.
I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad we could have a civil conversation about this.
There's just I'm just going to say right now, though, there's just a couple of them that I just don't give a fuck about. Like, I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care about what you got going in your life. I don't care to know that you're doing good. I just don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Well, I don't know if we want to get into stories real quick. We can get into stories. We can.
You want to start with yours?
Yeah. So I haven't had, like, a whole bunch of boyfriends in my life. I didn't date till I was older. Maybe I want to say 17 was when I had my first boyfriend. And he was very nice. But he kind of like, I felt pressured at the time. I was still a virgin. And I felt that he was like pressuring me. I felt like he was like, okay, well, look, you got to your birthday. I got you on your birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll even wait till you're, you know, this and that. And I was just like, this is not going to work out. I can't be with you anymore. And like for a long time, like we would hang out and we were cool, but like, it was just, it wasn't there. And I just didn't, like, I didn't want to feel pressured. I didn't want to feel like I had to give you something because we're boyfriend I had that, girlfriend. Right, or I had that set time to do something. Right. You know, you're not
good for you, though, because I feel like a lot of, especially females, get into this, like, they feel pressured. Like,
well, yeah,
all my friends are having sex. I need to do it, too. Like, oh, I need to be on this.
Well, let's call this guy Ray. We're going to call him Ray. He was like, oh my God. I felt like he was such a hoe. But he was my first, and he was such a douche. Like, yeah, good for you when and I hear you say that, like, good for you, you know, breaking up with that guy. But this one pressured me so much more. Like, sex is so important in a relationship. Literally, did he tell me, you don't know shit about a relationship because relationships are more than just sex. What's important is trust, communication. Right. Didn't have none of that shit. So, like, he taught me what a relationship shouldn't look like. You know what I'm saying? There was one time in particular, I introduced him to Dolly because, I had to introduce Dolly to all the boyfriends because,
Listen,
she was legit, right? Like, I had to get that stamp of approval from Dolly. So, like, I introduced her to him, and he was very nonchalant about it. It wasn't like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, none of that. He was just
it
kind
was
of like...
on both ends. I was just kind of like, oh, hey.
Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah, I was...
Oh, hey, and that was it. And he was so awkward with it. I remember the meeting, too. It was, like, in his backyard. And he was just sitting there, and it was just, like...
It was really weird. I'm like, all right, well...
He made it so awkward. And we got into a big fight. Not me and Dolly, but me and him got into a huge fight. And he had the nerve, and I started cracking up because I was like, you're a fucking idiot. You want to get me mad by telling me, this is what he told me. He told me that Dolly had liked him and wanted to get on with him. And I was cracking up because anyone else, would have questioned this. But this is like my sisters that I've known since I was little. I know what's up. We would never do something like that to each other.
When she told me that, I was like, what?
Like, no, boy, you're not even her type. Like, what? First off, you're douche. No. So, like, no, it was crazy. And then, like, this was my first love. It wasn't even love. It was like a lust, a want of attention from someone who had attention from others type of thing. Like, oh, I one-upped because I got this guy who's cute or whatever. And, everyone wants him and I got him. And I'm going to keep him and I'm going to do whatever I can to keep him. And because of that, I think he knew that as well. And he knew of my insecurity with certain things, but he still did whatever he wanted to do. He talked to whoever he wanted to talk to. He probably had sex with whoever he wanted to. Like, who knows? I don't care at this time, at this moment, because it's like whatever. But yeah, so like my little Dairy Queen checks I was making, I was spending on his ass, like just the stupidest things. I had my little Honda. I had the car. Low key, I was the one that was the fucking man in the relationship. I had the whip. I had the job. He didn't have any of that. He didn't even have plans to have a job. He had plans to leech off me. That was the plan.
Douche.
And like, yeah. And like, I don't know. Like, I let it happen. I was like, I'm going to take care of him. Girls have this mentality when you're first with somebody, like, I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to be that ride or die chick. And it's like, nowadays, you're like, I'm going to be that ride or die chick if you're a ride or die for me.
Right. Like, you're not doing anything for me.
Right.
Literally.
And if you're not going to do that, then like, what are you here for? So like, I just thought it was really funny that he tried to get in an argument and try to get me to like be against my friend. That wasn't gonna happen. That was never gonna happen.
And I remember when that happened, all I can think in my head, because I knew you loved this kid. You were all about this kid.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh no. I'm like, how am I really gonna tell her? Is she gonna believe me when I tell her like this didn't happen?
I'm telling you, talking about sprung. I was super sprung over this guy. I just think that it was because I gave a part of him that I gave a part of myself to him that I could never get back. And it was very important to me. And I look back at it and it's taught me what it's taught me, but I still regret the fact that I gave him, you know what I'm saying? I really do, because he didn't deserve it at all. He wasn't a person that was deserving of it at all. And I
think a lot of the times, though, like,
it's
the
like
first person that you're, like, you open yourself to, it's just not the person you're going to end up with. But a lot of the time,
it's different for guys and girls, too, because I'm sure guys are like, oh, I finally got it in. I finally did it, you know? And guys look at guys crazy if you're a virgin. Like, what? You never had sex? You never what? Like, what's wrong with that, He's not out here somewhat maybe getting STDs and shit, just going crazy.
Right.
But, like, it's just, you know how it is. Like, a guy can sleep with as many girls as he wants, and he's not considered a hoe. And then a girl, God forbid.
She's a slut.
Right.
If she's sleeping with two guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just contradicting all the time. But, who was your first?
Oh, God. So, I'm not going to say any names.
Mr. Brown?
We're going to call him Mr. Brown for a lot of reasons, but we're just going to say Mr. Brown. And this dude, literally, Jackie was there when all this started happening. Oh my God, I was like 15, and we met because we were standing up in a quince together.
Oh, yes, this was a long time ago.
A long time ago. And I was like completely head over heels Like, completely, like, this is
Or what we
my
thought it was.
life.
That's so funny.
I was like, this is who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. We're going to have babies. We're going to die together. We're going to be buried next to each other after we die. Like, I thought this was the one. And, dude, I was so head over heels over this guy. It was fucking ridiculous. And it was, like, back in MySpace days when we would, like, shout each other out and put each other number one on the top 8. I was like, this means he loves me. He put me number 1 on his top 8.
Oh, my God.
So stupid. But, yeah, he ended up being a complete piece of shit for whatever reason. Right now, I like to think, like, we were young. And when you have this, the same way you were saying, when you have this idea, like, if you smash all these girls, you're the man. Or if you can pull all this off and still get this chick and still have this chick, you're considered cool. Mm-hmm. And he just pretty much, I remember I went to go visit you for a summer, and I was there for, like, the whole summer. Like, probably, like, the whole 2 months.
Really?
Yeah. I was there for a very long time.
Damn, girl.
And I came back to find out all this shit. And I didn't even find out from him. It was his friends.
Damn.
That were, like, hitting me up and being like, yo, like, not trying to start no shit, but, you know, while you were gone, this was happening. And I'm like, what? And when I confronted him about it, he didn't even deny it. He was like, yeah, that happened.
We were, like, sleeping with other girls and shit?
Like, well, this specific girl. A specific girl. And I was like, well, because you know in your head, like, all right, well, that obviously means we have to break up.
Right.
And so we broke up, and I was, like, super heartbroken, like, corte venas, like, singing sad songs all night, like, sad songs putting me to sleep. I was crying myself to sleep all night. I was so dramatic. But, yeah, then...
Oh, my God, girl.
In a weird way, I don't know how, but it, like, slowly turned into, like, we were dating, and then he started dating this girl, and then in a weird way, it started being, like... It sounds so bad to say, but it turned into this thing where he was cheating on his girlfriend with me.
Oh, my God.
And I ended up being the sideline bitch. And I'm like, how did I get myself into this situation?
How did I get here?
I'm not a sideline hoe. I'm a classy lady. But here I was being a sideline bitch. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I was a sideline.
You know,
and
I'm not going to lie. That's what happened to me, too. Because, like... I think with both of us, with those first people, like,
yeah, and
it took a while. It took years to, like, get over, like,
and
that
I really
whole
wanted to
situation.
believe, like, oh, he's with you, but he really wants me.
Right.
I really wanted to believe that.
At the end of the day, he's claiming her, and then you're on the low.
Yeah, and I'm like...
That's what happened to me, too.
And now, we're super cool, and it took a minute to get out of all that stuff, but, like... I just started realizing what I can tell him. We were young. Mm-hmm. Super young. I feel like living in a society... Not saying that this is an excuse, but, like, trying to be a papi chulo and trying to be you know, trying to show off and see how far he can get with it.
Right.
I still have a lot of respect for him. I'm so proud of where he's come, what he's done. But back in the day, he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That
was the same with mine. I'm sure mine... I think... Ray, because some of you listening are gonna know who I'm talking about, which is so funny. But Ray definitely, I think he got a job and he started actually working for his own money, you know, which was always a great thing. God bless the other women that deal with it. Que Dios te bendiga. But anyways,
stay safe.
Yeah, I don't know what, like, I guess I could say I don't know. He's one of the ones where I don't care. Like,
yeah,
it's bad to say that, but he's one of the ones that I just don't care.
Yeah.
All he did was use me. Mm-hmm. He used me the whole relationship. So, like, I know at the end of our relationship, there was a point, like, it was so, girl, I remember it was so dramatic. We were listening to some sad-ass Chris Brown song in my car, and we were both crying, and he was crying about how, like, oh, I can't be with you. Like, this was the one time he was actually somewhat honest with me. Like, he still wanted to fuck with me hard because he knew I was loyal. He knew I was a good girl. Mm-hmm. But he knew he wasn't going to be faithful.
I feel like Mr. Brown did that a few times, too. Like,
and then we still, like, dumbasses.
We were like,
okay.
It's okay. I'm going to wait for you. It's okay. Here, lean in, cry on my shoulder.
And you know what's crazy, though? Because once I really got over him, he really, like, for years tried to get back with me for years. And I was like, by that time I knew my worth. I was like, look, boy, I ain't paying for shit else you got me.
Good. Yeah, no, he did too. And it came to a point where I was like, listen, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
And it's never easy. It always takes time.
Yeah.
It always takes time because you have to heal from stuff yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And you have to grow up a little bit and you have to be like, this isn't for me.
Right.
This isn't who I am. Mm-hmm. I'm not this type of person to be like, and then fucking this other girl's life up.
Right.
She's probably going through the same thing I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm causing her all this pain. She's causing me all this pain. Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Over this, like, no good for nothing person. Like, we're not meant to be together. This isn't a soulmate kind of thing.
If you're on and off again, people see that as, it's like normalized right now. Like, it's just a way of life now for people to be on and off with their boyfriends. And then, you know, I'm off with you and then I'm going to go fuck this guy. And then, you know, next week we're going to be together. And then 2 weeks from that, you know, I'm going to meet someone else and I'm going to smash them too. Like, it's just too much. If you're with someone and you want to be committed to them, you'll be committed to them. That's a period. People make it a lot harder.
Unless you guys both agree to have like an open kind of.
That's too complicated. I can't do it.
We've
had this conversation, but it's like, it's crazy.
I see where those. That's another episode. We should do a whole episode. Yeah, we should. That. But like, I see those kind of point of views. Unless you guys are both on the same page of like something like that. But if you guys are both committed to each other,
it's communicated. Yeah, it's like it's thoroughly known, and that's what it's gonna be, and we're both agreeing to it. Then let it be. But if it's not, this is our stop being childish. Do not drag someone along.
Right.
Just be real. At the end of the day, there's going to be some bitch, some female or some guy who's going to want to mess with you either way. Yeah. You just be honest about it. Just be honest about it. If you don't want to be with someone, you let them know that. If they don't want to mess with you, there's going to be another girl who wants to mess with you. Doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? Just be honest. Why lie? Why do the extra in a negative way to smash somebody or to like, you know, it's just stupid.
And I think that goes into like my following ex after that. We're gonna call him. What did we say we were gonna call him? Oh, the Jolly. Aww. We're gonna call him the Jolly Green Giant. He was such a sweet man, and he came into my life when I least deserved him. I swear.
Dito.
Like, he came senior year in high school, and he was like super sweet, super nice. Everything. And I was not, and I should have known I was not ready to be in a relationship, but I saw somebody and that I saw the potential of how they could treat me. And I knew in my head, my conscience was like, this is what you deserve.
Right.
Take it. And so I went with it, and I wasn't ready for that kind of relationship. I was still trying to get over my ex. And what ends up happening, he ends up being a great person. He ends up being the sweetest guy ever. And my ex comes back into town and, you know, I go see him.
Yeah.
You know, and then.
And just like that, whatever.
Just like that, I'm like, okay, I'm not ready. I'm not over.
Yeah.
That right there just proved to me I'm not over him. I don't, you know, and then I had to break somebody's heart.
Right.
When I should have known. And I think it's important, too, to know that sometimes the timing in relationships is wrong. I think that's my relationship to understand that sometimes you can click with somebody and somebody could be perfect for you, but the timing is wrong. And the timing was very wrong in that relationship. I was not ready to be with anyone like that.
Yeah.
Or to have anyone that treated me that way.
And just like you were saying before, it just wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
You know, when you're really invested and you have feelings for someone else, you have to take that time to get over them. Mm-hmm. You know, because things are going to get complicated, you know?
And I didn't give myself no time. I use that as a complete rebound.
Yeah.
You know, and I shouldn't have. To this day, I feel bad.
Yeah, Dito.
But.
I mean, I had one guy. I didn't, like, do anything crazy with him or to him. It was just the perfect scenario. Like, this was after my first boyfriend that I told you I broke up with that I just mentioned beforehand. And he, not Ray, but the one before that, he was my first, the one that I felt pressured to have sex with, you know. And I met this guy, and he was so great. He was funny. We liked the same things. Our, like, the stuff we had in common was like limitless. We got along so well. Like his parents liked me, my parents liked him. But the number one thing, he was a virgin just like me. And it was insane. And I felt like this was perfect. You know, we had to be together because that's how it was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You know, like that would be everyone's. I feel like that's people's dream. You want to lose your virginity to someone, even though you don't know what the fuck, you know, what the hell's going on, but you'd want to lose it to someone who's just like you.
Who doesn't
know
what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Either. Yeah.
Just like you. You want to learn together, do whatever. But after 2 months of dating him, he broke up with me. Because in those 2 months, we had never, like, kissed or anything. Because I was always so shy and timid and self-conscious. So, like, I never made a move. But neither did he. So that went nowhere. And then he broke up with me. And, like, over some BS reason, it was the funniest thing. And then got with a girl, like, 2 months later. And, like, I felt so bad because I didn't feel bad. It was kind of like karma. Because I felt bad, like, we didn't move along quick enough. Mm-hmm. Because I felt we didn't either. But at the same time, it just maybe wasn't meant to be. Mm-hmm. And the girl he dated after that I either, like, fucked up his life. I felt bad. After? Yeah, that dated him, that he was so in love with, you know, damn. Like. And, you know, I was like, you know, at first I was like, that's karma for your ass. But then I was like, damn, you know, I felt super bad because he was a great guy, you know. Yeah. And I'm sure he's a great guy now. I know he's probably doing, like, I know I follow him on some social media, but he's doing good. He's, you know, got a family. He's mm-hmm. great, you know, and I'm happy for him. And he's actually with a girl I went to school with, and she was awesome in mm-hmm. school. I remember her as being so nice, so great, and to think that he's with her and he's married to her is just awesome to me. Like, that's good. They're a great couple, you know?
That's good.
So, like,
I love to see when, like, things like that, you see how good they're doing.
Yeah. And like, it makes you kind of feel good, like, you know, no ill will. No.
Right.
Ill will.
Right. Like, I hope you can look at me and say, like, I'm glad you're doing good too.
Right.
You know?
Same with me. You want to talk about our exes before our boyfriends now?
Okay.
Because I think that's really...
that's the important one.
That's the funny one.
And I feel like my exes before my last ex were all when I was a teenager. Like, no one knows who they are, I feel like, when you're a teenager. Mm-hmm. When I was a teenager, I didn't have any clue who I was. Right. I didn't get anything. Mm-hmm. So, like, I feel like those... They count because they made me who I was. But, like, as far as relationships, I agree when, like, sometimes you're just too young to start dating.
I think sometimes overall, like, I think a lot of people start too young when it comes to sex, when it comes to relationships.
Right. Like, I get it when people are like, just wait. There's no need to rush. There was no need for me to be in a relationship at 15. Right. I didn't know what the hell anything was at 15, you know? Right. Like,
so let me talk about a serious relationship with this person. I'm
right. Like, let's communicate and talk about all the important things that involve. Bitch, we don't know. We're just trying to get our fucking homework done.
I'm just trying to pass math.
Right. And I'm not passing math. So, like,
what the fuck is going on?
We're not passing this. Like, yeah. So, I feel like your first, like, serious relationship in, like, your 20s. I mean, sometimes you have relationships that, like, high school sweethearts or whatever, right. But if you don't, the first relationship you have in your 20s or something like that is, like, a crucial relationship. Yeah. Because you're on your own. At least for me, like, that's, like, grind time. Right. I'm trying to, like, make money. I'm trying to pay my bills. I'm trying to figure you out. I'm trying to figure me out. You 100%. Right. Like, I'm graduated from high school. Like, adulthood has really like, punched me in the face. Yeah. And I don't know where to take it. And before I was with my previous ex, right? Yeah, my previous ex, I was single for, like, almost 6 years. So I was, like, super comfortable with...
being by yourself.
Not being having independent. Anything. Yeah. Before we wrap this up, this is going to be a part 2. So stay tuned. You want to do like that?
Be tuned because we're going to finish this conversation.
Yeah, we're going to go into our more recent exes, and it's going to get really crazy. So this is going to be for next week's episode because, like we said before, we only got 30 minutes. So
to be continued.
Bye.